This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, there you go. You know it. I know it. So I don't even think we need to address it in regards of it, that it does not matter. That it does not matter. So anyways, how are you? I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. Today is Thursday, January the 23rd of 2025, day 23 of the year, and only 342 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, infiltration and Radio Big is kind of the mixture of things that we normally, razzle-dazzle about, talk a little bit about, do the things about, all the fun stuff. So there you go. So let's talk this morning in regards of what we do, how we hang, how we do our stuff, because people deem some of that stuff important. So as we talk, as we go, as we move, as we groove, it kind of goes in this fashion. We talk about safety, we talk about news, we talk about safety and the news, and then we kind of go through the whole thing. So we give you some professional broadcasters that come in. They will talk a little bit about the things that are going on inside of the world, because that's just kind of what they do. And then we go from there. So there you go. So if you want to interact with the show, audio, video, and text messaging is all available at callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That will get everything going for you. Yeah, kind of a simple process. Some people want to make it a little bit more difficult than what it needs to be, but it doesn't need to be as hard as you're thinking. Okay, so let's talk a little schmerger today. A little bit about some of the things that are going on. I got some people that are waiting to tell you about the news, but I want to tell you what the hell was trending in the overnight before we get to that far into it. Some people have asked me as of recent, and I continue to answer the same question, why is the show all not about safety? Well, pop culture stuff is important to have something to start with, opposed to just jumping in and saying, hey, this is Dave, and I want to talk to you a little bit about life. So, gives you some more things to go with if you kind of give it a rigmarole there, little rigmarole. So, let's start talking right away about what the hell was trending.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the end, the Pennsylvania man mistakenly shoots his Instacart guy, and credit card balances cripple American finances. And then things are about to get even messier when it comes to the It Ends With Us legal drama. Apparently, this is going to just be the news story that we're going to continue to talk about. Also, Chris Brown sues Warner Brothers, and Ryan Seacrest takes a tumble. Yep. That's stuff we're talking about there. And then Prince Harry settles his latest lawsuit. Lawsuit? Okay, whatever goes, man. Whatever goes. Anyways, I have my friends waiting from Feature Story News on the other side here. So if you're good, I'm good. We'll start talking about the news and we'll get everything rolling.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. US President Donald Trump says people want to buy TikTok and says it's going to stay around. He made the comments in a TV interview, the first one-on-one since he retook the White House earlier this week. Benji Hire reports.
You're dealing with a lot of young people.
Donald Trump on Fox News speaking with his friend and television personality Sean Hannity in the Oval Office.
Is it that important for China to be spying on young people, on young kids watching crazy videos and things?
I don't want China spying on anybody.
No, but they make your telephones and they make your computers and they make a lot of other things. Isn't that a bigger threat?
The newly sworn-in president has postponed a ban on TikTok, which he once wanted to outlaw on national security grounds. But now he's branding himself as a saviour for the social media platform, threatening tariffs on China if it does not approve a deal to keep the app online. Benji Hire, Washington.
India says it's open to bringing back illegal Indian migrants who are in the United States after the country's foreign minister's first meeting with the new Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Minister S. Jaishankar says Delhi's opposed to illegal migration.
As a government, we obviously are very much supportive of legal mobility because we do believe in a global workplace. We want Indian talent and Indian skills to have the maximum opportunity at a global level. We are also very firmly opposed to illegal mobility and illegal migration because you also know that when something illegal happens, many other illegal activities get joined onto it. And it's not, this is not desirable. It's certainly not reputationally good. If there are any of our citizens who are not here legally, if we are sure that they are our citizens, we've always been, open to their legitimate return.
At least 13 people have been killed in India after fleeing a rumoured fire on a train and being hit by another on adjacent tracks. Officials say passengers got off the Mumbai service in western Maharashtra state after it came to a halt and were hit by a train coming in the other direction. A new fast-moving wildfires broken out north of LA, forcing thousands to evacuate their homes and closing a major highway. The new blaze comes as firefighters continue to battle fires that brought devastation to Los Angeles 2 weeks ago. Ira Spitzer reports.
The Hughes fire broke out in the wilderness near the Castaic Lake area of Los Angeles County, north of the city on Wednesday, quickly growing to more than 5,000 acres or 20 square kilometers. Due to poor visibility, local officials closed down Interstate 5, a major north-south highway in both directions. Around 19,000 people are under mandatory evacuation orders. Red flag warnings are in effect across much of Southern California as strong, dry winds continue.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, with more today about Prince Harry's big legal win at the hands of Rupert Murdoch's News Group newspapers. The parent company of the UK tabloid The Sun is to pay the Duke of Sussex a substantial undisclosed sum and apologised for committing a serious intrusion into his private life between 1996 and 2011. Steve Kunseyevich is a media lawyer and partner at law firm Glaciers ETL.
Well, they've apologised for a huge amount. This is a really wide-ranging apology. They've admitted that they're involved in unlawful intrusions Prince Harry's private life. This goes way beyond what you'd normally see in a settlement like this. Certainly, you would expect there to be some kind of agreed wording on the apology, but apologising for the distress caused to him, to his mother, kind of laying bare the fact that this was an industry for them. We were talking about 200-odd stories. Prince Harry went into great detail about the effect that it had on his private life. And I think the hope from them is that this is the end of the matter. And certainly, there can't be any more civil claims following this. They've settled, I think, to the tune of about $1 billion to a number of other claimants. It's notable in the statement that David Sherborne, Prince Harry's lawyer, talked about the fact that it's not just vindication for him, it's vindication for everybody who couldn't afford to take it this far.
Prince Harry's lawyer called the agreement a monumental victory. NGN, spared a full trial by the settlement, says it has taken steps at all its titles to prevent similar snooping in the future. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, US President Donald Trump suggested people want to buy TikTok and says it's going to stay around. India says it's open to bringing back illegal Indian migrants in the United States. At least 13 people have been killed in India after fleeing a rumoured fire on one train and being hit by another on adjacent tracks. And a new fast-moving wildfire has broken out north of LA, forcing thousands to evacuate their homes. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. So let's start talking right away about what the hell is going on out there inside of the multiverse, because I think we need to do that. So let's go ahead and start it. A Pennsylvania man was arrested for shooting his Instacart delivery guy, who he mistook as an intruder. On Saturday, Nick Sabo's wife ordered groceries to be delivered but didn't tell him. When the delivery driver arrived, he set off Sabo's security system. In a panic, Sabo's wife believed someone was breaking into the utility trailer parked on their property. Sabo proceeded outside and immediately shot the driver, striking him through the leg into the other one. By some miracle, the driver was able to limp back to his car where his wife and child were waiting, and they drove to a safe distance before calling for medical help. Fortunately, he's now in stable condition after the surgery. When police arrived at Sabo's residence, he immediately surrendered the weapon, and then he has been charged with reckless endangerment and could face more. This is according to the New York Post. Kind of confused on this one. So I understand, protecting your own stuff, not wanting people to get into your stuff, but shit, man. First thing you did was shoot.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so are you ready for this? So I want to share this with you. A once-in-a-lifetime winter storm, you listening, dumped 9.8 inches of snow in Milton, Florida. Yes, Milton, Florida. About 40 minutes north of Pensacola, the accumulation of shattered the entire state. Its previous snowfall record, which was 4 inches, set back in 1954. Also, the Gulf of America. New Orleans experienced a record setting 10 inches of accumulation, demolishing the previous records of 2.7 set in 1963. One unconfirmed report saw nearly a foot of snow in a nearby St. Bernard's Parish. A mobile regional regional airport in Alabama, 6.2 inches of snow fell, breaking the city's record of 5 inches back in 1881. This is all according to the Associated Press. So let me just say that right there. 9.8 inches of snow in Florida. In Florida. How crazy is that? Anyways, in a real natural disaster, another wildfire expanded to more than 5,000 acres in Los Angeles area Wednesday evening, triggering a renewed evacuation orders. So, I don't know. Once you've shoveled the result, so there you go. So a lot of stuff. So yeah. A band that I follow out of California was supposed to be performing last night for a wildfire benefit, and they had to pull out because they were told that they needed to evacuate their home. A lot of crazy stuff going on out there. And the interesting part was I remember a while ago listening, and I'm talking like, I want to say, what is it, 2025? Had to be 2019 or 2020. A guy saying that if you ever wanted to cause chaos in Los Angeles, all you needed was a gas can. It's kind of a weird one, and I know some wildfires popped up and all that kind of stuff, but man, it gets strange when you start listening to some people going, oh yeah, stuff that was said years ago. So I don't know. I get very confused from time to time. Anyways, let's see. What is this? On her new podcast, Are You Charlotte? Asterisk Kristen Davis recalls lending a former out-of-work actor that she was dating $5,000 when they never, and then never hearing from him again. Do not do it, she told listeners about lending boyfriend/girlfriend's money if it doesn't end well. While Davis didn't disclose the version, she did say that he is now a successful actor who clearly has the funds to pay her back. This is according to EW. Listen, I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Don't ever lend out more money than what you can afford to lose. If you go by that, much easier. So you know what I've made the determination of? I can't lend out money. There's nothing I can afford to lose. I know.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this. Mob Wives alum Natalia Di Donato is alive and safe despite dropping off the radar from friends and family. Earlier this month, Natalie, however you want to say it, visited family in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but never got on the schedule to return her flight to Florida. Her mother, Denise, says that she briefly spoke to her on the phone, but Natalie was rushed and seemed nervous and distressed. Denise subsequent to call went right to voicemail. After a few uncertain days, she contacted Philly police. As recent as Monday, Natalie was with a friend named Ben in Las Vegas who said that she asked him to help getting her a flight back home to Florida. He bought her the ticket, but she again never got on board. By Tuesday night, the news of Natalie's disappearance began circulating online, and her family filed a missing persons report in Las Vegas police yesterday. By Wednesday evening, her mother said that finally got in touch with Natalie, whose bag and IDs were reportedly stolen. Still no specifics on the bizarre circumstances. This is according to TMZ. I don't know. Just telling you what's going on, man. A lot of weird stuff with that one. That's what it sounded like. Anyways, two major legacy media outlets are bracing for mass layoffs that could begin as soon as today. CNBC reports that CNN will pink slip hundreds of employees today with an eye towards refocusing the business around on global digital audience. The network is also considering plans to consolidate the production out of Atlanta and shutting down the studios in New York and Washington, D.C. Things will be less brutal at NBC News, where there's just about 50 staffers expected to get the axe. according to CNBC. So listen to this. I mean, I know that you're sitting there going, oh, it's not as bad. It's 50 people. That's 50 lives impacted that impact other lives and all that other fun stuff. So, I mean, it's not an easy thing. And I don't know. I look at legacy media as of late as a very interesting place to be. Because if you notice from the different cycle of elections, or the election cycle that just went through recently, it didn't seem like legacy media had a lot of info. But then again, you have people that pop up out of the woodworks that they want to claim that they're journalists in regard to what's going on. I don't know. I remember going to good old radio school many, many, many moons ago. And, you know, for you to go into journalism inside of that thing, you had to make sure that once you got information, that shit was vetted, not just being the first person online or reporting on, because you had to retract those stories if they weren't accurate. And normally apologies and all other kind of fun stuff came with it. So I definitely knew back then I didn't want to be a news person. Yep. So there you go. Anyways, rumor is that actor Ryan Gosling is in talks with starting in the forthcoming Star Wars film. So we'll see what happens there. Sean Levy is directing the project, which has been a scheduled release date of December 17th of 2027. Gosling most recently starred in Barbie, which was a box office hit and earned him an Oscar nom, while Levy directed Deadpool and Wolverine, the highest grossing R-rated film of all time for Disney. No details on the latest installments are known, other than it will not be connected to episodes 1 through 9. Which I have to tell you, those episodes, the last 3, was having a conversation over the last few days on how bad those movies suck. Yeah, I don't know. It was like 7, 8, and 9. There's no continuity besides, you know, reoccurring characters about it. Very confusing, that script. Anyways, upcoming, we'll be talking about Joe Biden finals message to President Donald Trump. What actor Gabriel Bassos has to do about the new vice president, or has to say about the new vice president who portrayed in Hillbilly Elegy. The A-lister talks about the headline of the next Star Wars movies. And first taste case of the historic changing treatment in history. So we'll talk about that. Okay, so just letting you know what's coming up. So take a listen to this. A lot of odds and ends with the tech world on Wednesday. Despite internet rumors, reps for prominent creator Mr. B said on Wednesday that he hasn't made a formal offer to buy TikTok. When Flack tells the Associated Press that several buyers are holding ongoing discussions with Jimmy, that Mr. B's Jimmy Donaldson, he has no exclusive agreement with any of them. The head of the private equity funds General Atlantic, which owns a significant stake in ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, says that he's confident that a deal will get done to keep the app alive in the United States. He said that he anticipates to negotiate to begin as soon as the end of the week. After President Donald Trump announced the $500 billion private investment in artificial intelligence technology on Tuesday, Elon Musk said that he doesn't think it'll actually happen, and a rare public split in the commander-in-chief. On X, Musk said that he doesn't believe that the firms involved with the deal, OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank, have enough cash to put up. Musk and OpenAI head Sam Altman have been at odds after their partnership in AI company fell apart. But the head of Microsoft, which is invested extensively in OpenAI, confirmed that $80 billion in cash are already spent. So there you go. Some things circulating inside of that world. No doubt about that. Anyways, officials in South Carolina are beginning the process to bring another nuclear reactor online to power AI infrastructure. The state-owned energy company Santee Cooper announced on Wednesday that it's looking for buyers to finish up the building of reactor that was halted in 2017 over financing problems. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. So let's talk about that. Are you telling me that you have to have enough power for a nuclear reactor to get AI to work? That sounds pretty interesting when you start thinking about it. So anyways, a concerning report by Philadelphia Federal Reserve shows more than 10% of credit card borrowers made just minimum payments on their balances through the third quarter of 2024, the 12-year high. A number of card holders at least a month past due ticked up by 3.52%. By comparison, during 2008 and 2009 financial crisis, the 30-day delinquency rate peaked around 6.8%. This is according to NBC News. So there you go. Also, let's see. CC Sabbath, Bill Wagner, and Chiro Suzuki are the newest additions to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Suzuki is the first Japanese player chosen by the Hall, receiving 393 votes out of 394. Let's see. CC received 342 and Wagner 325. Let's see. Sebastian and Suzuki got in for their first appearance on the ballot, while Wagner had just made it on their 10th try. The trio will officially be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Coopertown on July the 27th. This is according to ESPN. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. Oh, we are about to get swampy. It's been a hot minute. Let's do this. A lawyer for the Secretary of Defense nominee for Pete Hegseth sent a letter to the chairman of the Senate of Armed Forces Committee defending Pete against the most recent allegation leveled against him. On Tuesday, Pete's ex-brother-in-law, Daniel DeRetch, suggested in a signed affidavit that he was abusive towards his ex-wife. Pete and his ex have explicitly denied these claims. In the letter, Pete's lawyer says that, let's see, now Danielle is a lifelong Democrat with political motives to sink Pete's nomination. He adds that Danielle owns admission she's never witnessed any of the claims against Pete, and that no accusations of abuse surfaced during Pete's divorce proceedings. Perhaps most importantly, even the FBI was unable to corroborate any of the claims. A vote confirms for Pete will likely happen this weekend. The Republicans, including former Mitch McConnell, have indicated they're voting no, which would leave Vice President J.D. Vance to cast the tie-breaking vote. President Donald Trump shared the letter that Joe Biden left him inside of the desk that said, "Dear Mr. President, as I take leave of this sacred office, I wish you and your family all the best in the next 4 years. The American people and the people around the world look to this house for steadiness and inevitable storms of history, and my prayers is that their coming years will be a time of prosperity, peace, and grace for our nation. May God bless you and guide you as he has blessed and guided our beloved country since the founding." Joe Biden, 1/20/25. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick before we get into it. The Dow increased by 130 points to close at 44,156 on Wednesday. The S&P increased by 37 points to close at 6,086, and the Nasdaq increased by 249 to close at 20,006. West Texas Intermediate closed at $75 a barrel. Brent crude at $78 a barrel, and the national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.12. And Bitcoin slid on Wednesday, down almost 2% and trading around $104,000. Friday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $28 million jackpot or a $12.8 million cash payout. So if you're going to play the game, I guess it is time to do so.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, running slightly behind on the timeline, but hey, those things happen as we are talking. So let me ask you a strange question, because, you know, it does come up and it does happen inside of the workplace, so questions do get asked. What do you do inside of your organization if you have an event that is catastrophic to the organization? What do you do if you have an event that is catastrophic towards the team? And I ask these questions because where sometimes we fail at is actually having a good setup for what needs to be done when things hit the wall. And I'm being serious here as I'm having this convo, because here's what happens sometimes. We're not prepared for when the worst thing can happen. And listen, there's all kinds of interesting stuff you can do. Safety management systems. If you deal with a lot of chemicals, there's some stuff that you can have set up for first responders and so on. But where we sometimes tend to fail is, do you have an incident team ready available inside of the organization? And I ask this question for the following reasons. Not that they all need to be safety people, because I think sometimes people get that confused. They can be from different departments within the organization. And I ask this because sometimes you have to have a person in place for this team, and then you have to have a backup if your organization is big enough to be able to do this. Because if you have a catastrophic event that occurs, depending on what the event is, cleanup teams that are able to get in contact with emergency services, teams that are able to bring in like an emergency HR team for mental health issues. Because I'll put it to you this way. Hopefully, you've never had a serious event occur inside of your organization. But if you have, sometimes when those serious events occur, other people see them happen in real time. And it does not go over well. Period. And not that it should ever go over well. But it's tough to think about in how you would prepare for something along those lines. And listen, setting this shit up post-event is not fun, because if you have these organizations or these team members where you can call and have this emergency team come in, this incident team, quote unquote, come in, it helps out significantly, opposed to having to vet the people or even get a service provider that can do some of this stuff post-event, because you don't know how long the setup's going to take. Listen, I've had events occur inside of my workplaces that have not been pretty. Like, I remember a person attempting death by suicide inside of one of the facilities that I worked at, right in the middle of what we would say, quote unquote, is called the sales floor. So we had to close down the store. We had to get an emergency team inside of there in regards to the stuff that needed to be done. And it was, at that time, I didn't really understand structuring on how that worked, but man, there was a team that was ready to be able to interact with the incident. So the question that I asked to you, do you have that team set up? And if you don't, when will you have time to set one up? Because it's going to be important. You never know when any of these things can happen, and life can change in a moment's notice.
Oops, what did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. It's all about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Jay Allen in the morning, weekdays on Radio Big.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
They're good. They're very funny.
They're hilarious. They just be whoever they want to be.
It's just really funny.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, here we go. 44 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, you know how it goes. We are hanging and banging. Yeah, this right here, this song's titled No Room by Keston Wright. That's W-R-I-G-H-T. Songs readily available on Spotify, YouTube Music, and Apple Music. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world. Some things always happening. Just moving and grooving, man. Moving and grooving. Just doing it. Yep, there we go. Just hanging out, doing our thing. So there you go. Thanks to Keston Wright for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that as we are talking. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now. And things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com to find out more information. Once you get there, information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. TWLOHA.com. Go all the way to the far right-hand side, and you will see the button that says Find Help. There you go. It could be a life-changing moment for you. Don't say that as a joke. Saying that as serious as possible as we are talking. Okay, so let's start talking about some other stuff. Remember in 2020, when shopping cart theory went viral, the idea was that it could be determined whether or not you are a good person based on if you would return a grocery cart to the bay if nobody was watching. Shoppers around the world shared that they would do this in this situation, which was described as the ultimate litmus test for whatever person is capable of self-governing. And in 2025, a new supermarket-based litmus test that supposedly will tell you if you're an understanding citizen or upstanding citizen and self-important, lazy of what you know. And the Redditor put it came down to after someone posted a picture at an Aldi fans in Australia Facebook group of the streak of someone had dumped on top of a piece of furniture in the middle of the store. The poster said, "How lazy can you be that there are only 4 aisles?" Among many comments from the disgusted people, some said that they have noticed this happening more and more often as of late. And supermarket employees shared a photo of 4 full carts of items that had been found at the end of their shift that they had been left around the store. So are you guilty or no? I don't know. Gets weird. Is that important? I don't know. Anyway, so let's talk about this because it's been hitting the news sequences after releasing a behind-the-scenes footage from It Ends With Us to refute the Blake Lively sexual harassment claims. Justin Baldini is now rumored to be creating a website to share details of the defense. The footage is evidence against one of Lively's claims that he has interacted with her inappropriately during a dance scene. This comes after, Baldoni filed for a lawsuit against Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, her publicist, and the New York Times for what he claims is a smear campaign waged against him. Meanwhile, Lively seems reacted to the released footage, calling it damning and arguing that it corroborates with the accusation. This is according to Page 6. So here's my issue, and I'm just going to tell you what the issue is. If I play this clip, and because it has video, and because it pertains to a movie, I might get the whole thing pulled down. So I'll just tell you it's out there if you want to go looking for it. There's an idea, opposed to me kind of going through this whole rigmarole of stuff and saying, hey, you take a gander-ander at this, and then find out that we kind of screwed the pooch by showing it. So if you want to find it, it's there. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. What are we at now? I think he's suing the newspaper for $250 million and then $400 million to Blake Lively, her publicist, and Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. I am sure we will be talking about this for some time to come. Anyways, with that being said, let's bring some John Smalls into our life because I think that's going to be important. So let's do that.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Kylie. Sheila Lario Macello said, I think in terms of evolutions, not revolutions. Failure is not part of my vocabulary. I love that. I actually took a job in Nebraska at a heritage radio station. They launched in 1922. Now, I didn't work there that long ago, but it was over 20 years ago. In the job interview, the general manager told me that they're evolutionary, not revolutionary. He was the third general manager in almost 80 years of service to the community. His father served in that position before he did, and his grandfather way back before that. He said they didn't want to be cutting edge. They wanted to be the standard.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your motivational quotes can be submitted for an upcoming program at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. The day of my baby sister's funeral has been completely erased from my memory, but I do have vivid memories of supper that evening. All the relatives and friends had gone home. Now it was just Mom and Dad and us 3 boys. And sadness, the ever-present, all-pervading sadness. I remember sitting around the kitchen table with only a small lamp for light. No overhead light that night. Bright lights and grief don't mix. A simple meal and a wordless grief that made eating nearly impossible. But even in our grief, we were comforted by the promise of eternal life. Lord, we thank you for your abiding presence. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Enrique Tarrio, the former leader of the Proud Boys, and Stuart Rhodes, the head of the Oath Keepers, were released from prison on Tuesday.
Their release came as part of a sweeping pardon issued by President Donald Trump for individuals convicted in connection with the January 6th Capitol riot. Tarrio and Rhodes had been serving sentences of 22 and 18 years, respectively, for their roles in the attack. Rhodes was sentenced in May 2023 by a federal judge after being convicted of seditious conspiracy in 2022 for his involvement and that of his group in the riot. Lawrence Keller reporting.
At least 76 people died and 51 others were injured in a pre-dawn fire that broke out at a hotel in Turkey's Kartalkaya ski resort, Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya said.
We are in deep pain, Yerlikaya stated during a press conference. He added that 45 of the deceased have been identified, while efforts to identify the remaining victims continue. As part of the investigation into the fire, authorities have detained 9 individuals. missiles, Yerlikaya confirmed. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Both Israel and Hamas have announced that the next release of hostages is scheduled for Saturday.
A senior Israeli official emphasized that the agreement specifies the exchange must occur on January 25th. Hamas also confirmed this, stating, "The second batch of prisoner exchange will take place on the scheduled date." On Sunday, 3 Israeli women hostages were released, and Israel freed 90 Palestinian prisoners as part of the exchange. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
A group of masked and hooded individuals smashed numerous windows and spray-painted anti-government graffiti on the Multnomah County Elections building in what Portland police have called an orchestrated attack.
The incident occurred shortly before 2 a.m. on Monday. Suspects fled the scene as officers arrived at the unoccupied building, police reported. This appears to be what I would define as an orchestrated attack on this building, Portland Police Chief Bob Day stated during a press conference. Kyle Norris reporting.
Domestic workers in Los Angeles are facing financial struggles after losing their employment when homes they worked in were destroyed by the recent wildfires.
The Palisades fire in Pacific Palisades prompted mass evacuations and left many domestic workers without jobs. Flor Martinez Zaragoza, the founder and CEO of Celebration Nation, a nonprofit supporting Indigenous and Latino communities, explained that these workers are now dealing with severe financial hardships due to the destruction in the affected neighborhoods. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Elon Musk's SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 rocket carrying nearly 24 Starlink communication satellites early Tuesday from Florida.
The rocket's first stage booster, completing its 8th flight, returned to Earth successfully, landing on the drone ship a short fall of gravitas in the Atlantic Ocean. The payload, consisting of 21 Starlink satellites, was deployed into low Earth orbit, joining thousands already in the network that provides high-speed, low-latency internet access worldwide. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench? Radio.
Oh, yeah, it definitely sounds like this show, that is for sure. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Let's talk about everybody's favorite year. Back in 2020, Chinese authorities shut down all modes of transportation in Wuhan as the city tries to contain a mysterious, fast-spreading respiratory virus. All theaters, cafes, and other indoor facilities are also shuttered, and the wearing of a face mask in public becomes mandatory. At the time, more than 800 people in the country had been infected with the virus. That was happened back on this date, back in 2020. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Mark Andrews turns 33. Brian Hansbard, 49. Tito Ortiz turns 50. Tiffany Thiessen turns 51. Kelly Kapowski, for those who don't know. Let's see. Brendan Shannon turns 56. Mariska Haggerty turns 61. Chelsea Sullenberger turns 74. And Richard Dean Anderson turned 75. If you're looking, let's see, what else? If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, National Handwriting Day and National Pie Day. Yes, National Handwriting Day and National Pie Day. So there you go. Combination of stuff. If you need a random joke for today, here you go. My dog is not a substitute for a child, or at least that's what his piano teacher says. Just saying. Also, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's the most historic thing that has happened in your lifetime? Historic thing. I would probably have to say 9/11. I don't know what it applies to you, but I would definitely have to say 9/11. Let's see. What else? If you need a conversation for the water cooler, try this. 35% of men say they never do this without first asking their wife, what is it? Sign up for a streaming service. Hey, you have to make sure that things are good. It makes sense to me. I get it. So there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I'll be going over to radiobig.fm exclusively for the next couple hours or so. If you would like to join me, you're more than welcome to. I have no problem whatsoever with you doing that. If you don't, that's perfectly fine too. You can hang out here on Safety FM with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. You go over with me. We'll talk about news and entertainment for the next couple hours or so and playing some music alongside with that as we are going. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me on this lovely Thursday. Always a good time when you and I are together. If I can, and if you don't mind, I would love to leave you with a deep thought. So let's do this. Great minds have purposes. Others have wishes. Great minds have purposes. Others have wishes. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.